Survey of the sources. It is truism to say that history as a subject of study is more or less completely at the mercy of sources. There is unanimity among the historians when they say, we obtain our knowledge from historical sources. The past history of a people can only be reconstructed on the basis of relics or traces left by them. The institutions, the customs, the religious doctrines, current ethical principles, traditions, legends, superstitions, etc., are all traces that live in societies. The whole present is a trace of the past. The present would be unintelligible and future would be meaningless without the past. The discovery of these traces must be completed before history could be reconstructed. That is why history is defined as the attempt to discover on the basis of fragmentary evidence the significant things about the past. For the study of Karnataka history, adequate sources in different denominations are available. They may be broadly divided into two groups, viz., literary and archaeological sources. Literary sources are both indigenous and foreign. Indigenous literature is contained in such languages as Sanskrit, Prakrit, Tamil, Kannada and Telugu. Literary sources. Sanskrit. The Vedic literature may not directly contribute to the history of Karnataka. Since Karnataka adopted the Aryan way of life and thought, in a general way the Vedic literature helps the historian of Karnataka. The Sabha Parva and Bhisma Parva of the Mahabharata are important as the earliest references to Karnataka are found in them. The Ramayana makes the mention of the Kaveri and the Janapadas like Ristika and Mahishaka, indicating the region of the Rashtrakutas and Mysore region respectively. Puranas like the Matsya and Vayu refer to the names of the Satavahana rulers and their reign periods. But the information gleaned from one Purana do not agree with the other. This hopeless confusion of the Puranas raise many doubts than solving any. The Ashtadhyayi of Panini and the Marikchakatika of Sudraka contain unmistakable reference to Karnataka. Avanti Sundarakatha and Dasakumaracharita of Dandan and Harsasharita of Bana throw incidental light on the history of the Chalukyas of Badami. Rajasekara extols the undiminishing heroism of Karnataka and the battle strategy of the Kannadigas in his works Bala Ramayana and Vidhashalabhanjaka. The poet here no doubt alludes to the military exploits of the Rashtrakutas in North India. Vikramankadeva Charita of the Kashmirian poet, Bilhana, is of a little more historical interest. It glorifies the life of his patron Vikramaditya VI, the Chalukya king of the Kalyana. He traces the origin of the Chalukya dynasty, and describes, in the usual style of a Mahakavya, the battles fought and the pleasures enjoyed by Vikramaditya. It consists of 18 cantos, and in the last canto he gives an account of himself and his literary adventures. Bilhana has rendered the same service to Vikramaditya as Bana to Harsa. Though as a piece of history the work is full of blemishes, a critical analysis of the works helps us to get insight into the events of the time. Of the treatises on statecraft, Nitavakyamrita composed by the Jaina scholar, Samadevasuri, under the patronage of the Chalukyas of Venulavada, the vassal rulers of the Rashtrakutas, and Avalashaitartha Chintamani or Manasolasa of Samsvara are worthy of mention. Nitavakyamrita was written in 959 AD. It consists of 32 discourses dealing with religions, metaphysical and administrative practices. The work is based mostly on the discus science of the topics in the Arthasastra of Kautilya. But Samadevasuri was anxious to teach rulers how they should behave with their people, and therefore he takes more interest in the moral maxims than in administrative and military matters. Manasolasa by King Samsvara is an encyclopedic work. It consists of 5 prakanas of 20 chapters, each dealing with 100 different topics concerning the royal household and the royal court. The author explains in the first prakana, general and religious ethics, social service, manufacture of idols, and diseases and their remedies. The second prakana concerns itself with the organization of the state. Such topics as the 7 elements of sovereignty, the 6-fold policy and the interstate relations are discussed at length. Architecture, picture drawing, and painting, iconography, and pleasures